Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my own calibration preference picture settings for Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I did some research, went to the ratings.com, went to Crutchfield, bunch of website digital trends, you name it. Been doing a bunch of research, trying to figure out like what would be the best calibration settings for cinema viewing on Sony X900E. And this is what I have come up with looking at this film, Terminator 2. This is my recipe. Uh, Now, a couple of things I want to say. In terms of color temperature, they would recommend that you use a Expert 1 color temperature, okay? But the problem with the Expert One, as I'm going to show you, is it's too yellow and too much of yellow sepia, warm color. Uh, Now, if this doesn't bother you, then this is the most accurate representation of a film. So Expert One, it's what they recommend. And if you can get used to this, it looks good. Now, I want you to understand this is not like fully yellow. It's not yellow to the point where everything's yellow. You still see colors, you still see detail, but it's better for the eyes. It's easier on eyes, and this is what they recommend. It's that warm Expert One color. It's not totally warm, but it's Expert One, meaning that the most accurate color representation that you're going to get of that temperature. And this is neutral. What you're seeing right here is the neutral color. So it really depends on you. Me personally, I would leave it on neutral. But if you're not getting bothered by that warm color that's on the Expert One, then you can go with the Expert One. To me, the Expert One is just it's just not it just doesn't it's not something I would use for everyday use. Okay, it's too warm. I prefer it to be a natural, neutral. Honestly, to me, I find out that leaving it on neutral, it's the best. It gives to me the most accurate color representation of the film or the video game or the programming that you're watching. You honestly, in my opinion, you're gonna get the best possible color representation of temperature. That it's very visible here. You know, you see how the color is represented more accurately with the blue lights that are shining from the building, and you see the red and blue rotating lights on the LAPD squad cars. So to me personally, uh, the neutral color gives you that more accurate representation. You know, with a Expert One, you'll see all of this will become more warm, and I don't like that warm color. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's you'll definitely notice that warm color. Now, does it bother me? It doesn't bother me, but I just feel that it loses its true intent that director, in this case James Cameron, was filming this movie with a different tone of color. There was a little of the bluish color on tone of color on this movie, so he used a different tone of color that was suitable for the film. So I just don't feel Expert One. It's something I would use for every day. I'm sorry. It's just that's the way I feel. And here, I'll show it to you. As you can see, it's just a neutral. It just looks better, in my opinion. As you can see, to me, the colors are represented more vividly and much better on neutral mode than on a Expert One mode. And I believe if you use the neutral mode, you're gonna be able to see this movie and all the other programming in its true color that it was intended. You know, every TV show, every movie has a different tone of color. So I'm just not a fan of the warm color, and that's exactly what you're gonna get with the Expert One. They recommend it, but I honestly, you see, this is where I have a disagreement with some of these professional calibrators. Just because you recommend something doesn't mean it's good for the eyes. It doesn't mean people are gonna like it. All right. So I know most people won't like this. See, now it's too warm. It's just too warm. You know what I mean? And you can see it, like he's on, like, I don't know, like a sunbathing on a beach, or it feels as if it's like there's a fire burning somewhere. Okay. And when you move it, see here to neutral, it becomes more represented in its true accurate form. But this is what the experts are really recommending. I'm not recommending it. The experts are the Expert One. There's also Expert Two, but honestly, I would just leave it on the Expert, on the neutral. You know. Here's another great example of, you know, neutral color and then Expert One color. And just want you to pay attention to all the blue lights out there they're emitting, and you will see how all of this will just become more warm and yellow when I switch it to Expert One. It's like a different kind of a movie. See, it's almost as if like you're getting a different kind of a movie, a representation of color. You know, and if James Cameron was sitting here and if he was watching this, he would say, hey, this is not how I filmed my movie. I don't like this Expert One color temperature. So he would tell you, I don't want to use it. This is where I tell, you know, these professional calibrators, this is why you have to use your own eyes to calibrate every and each programming, because the, the, the professional calibrating equipment doesn't know exactly what type of content you're watching. It doesn't know what kind of color it's being represented on that movie that was filmed. Okay, your eyes know exactly what kind of color it is, what kind of temperature it is, so your eyes can determine much better than the professional equipment. Okay, because the professional equipment, it's going by certain program standards, and those program standards are not always going to be universal for everyday use. And just look at the drastic difference on the neutral. On the neutral, you're getting exactly the vision of this movie the way James Cameron intended it to be. Like right here, for example, too. So on the neutral, you get much better composition of color that was intended. Now, before I end this video, there's a couple more things I want to mention. It's really important, if you're going to watch this movie from like an angle, from left and right, it's very important that you go to your hold on, let me show you, to your black level adjustment. Go to your black level adjustment and leave the black level at 22 and black adjustment at high. And then also contrast enhancer at high and local dimming at high. Make sure you do this. And also make sure you pause this video, write all of these settings down, and you're going to get exactly the picture like this. But make sure that you use a neutral temperature color. This video is really about that neutral temperature color. Okay, that's the whole point here. All right. In terms of color, leave it at 50, and sharpness, leave it at 50. Motion, leave it at True Cinema, motion flow, and then Cinemotion at high. That's what I recommend that you guys do here. And you will have a much better quality picture here, like this. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully this video helps, gives you a little information about the temperature color. Thank you for watching.